Hey YouTube, it's Luke here. I'm coming at you today with a new review. This is on a new pellet stove I just got. I've had it for about 2 months now, and I just wanted to give you my thoughts and feedback on it. So this is a summer's heat model. This is the 1500 square foot model. It's manufactured by Englander Stoves. You can buy this at a bunch of different places. I got mine from Lowe's. It ran me $1,099. It's $1,100. I figured, hey, I'll give it a try. I currently have oil furnace, and I run a wood stove as well for wood burning. So I want to give the pellet stove a try and just kind of see how it worked out and if it was something I could heat my house with all the time. So my house is about 1,100 square feet. It's a 2-story with a loft, so it's not real small, but pretty small. I've got some spray foam insulation that I just got done doing in it, so it does retain heat pretty well. But I want to tell you a little bit about how this heats my house and how well it heats my house. So before I get started, there's some mixed reviews about this pellet stove. I read the reviews on Lowes.com before I bought it. Some people love it, some people really hate it. So it seems like you get, one or the other. I'm going to give you the facts about this so you can kind of understand it. So it's a great pellet stove. It's built really well. It's very heavy, so if you have to install it, in a downstairs location, like I had to lower mine in my basement with my backhoe. I want to say it's like 300 pounds, so you need a few people to carry it at least to get it in your house. It's very easy to install. You can put it wherever you want. I have mine up on a couple cement blocks in my basement. You can put some tile down on your floor, whatever the situation, and then you have 2 pipes to hook up. You can see here behind me there's a little flexible pipe that I have running up to my window. What I did up there in the window is I put a little piece of styrofoam insulation and I cut a hole and I have a pipe going outside. That piece of 1.5 or 2-inch pipe, that's the cold air intake. Okay, so that pulls fresh air in from outside, so it's not using up all the oxygen in your house. So the air comes in from outside, it then goes in through the bottom of this pellet stove just through a very simple tube and is sucked out via a combustion blower into a 3-inch pipe that then I have connected to my chimney, but you can see it along the right-hand side over there. So this pellet stove will hold an entire 40-pound bag of pellets. It fills it right to the top of the hopper, and I kind of have to shake them down in a little bit, but it will take a full bag. When I got this from Lowe's and I plugged it in and started it, it only ran for 8 hours on 1 bag of pellets, and I thought, what the heck is wrong with this? This should be burning people are burning a whole day on a bag of pellets. And I had that on the lowest setting. If you buy this stove and you put pellets in it, it's gonna consume them very quickly. There are some settings that I'm gonna show you here in a second on the side of the pellet stove that you're gonna wanna change. I had to kind of struggle with this and figure it out the hard way, but I got it now, so I can run a full bag of pellets that lasts me almost an entire day. Okay, so over here on the side panel, this is your control panel, and basically what you have is you have a simple off and on button. So when you come down, you fill it with pellets, you clean it out, just hit on, it does everything itself, it starts right up. When you're all done or you want to, shut it off. Otherwise, when it runs out of pellets, it will shut off automatically. And you'll notice those 2 lights just went out there. There's a number on the right, that's the blower speed for the heat. Okay, and then there's the heat range, which is basically how fast the pellets are being fed into the stove. So I have this heat range up on 9 right now. I'm going to turn this down to 1, and I have the blower at 5. I know it's kind of washing out, so it's hard to see there, but so when I turn this heat range down to 1, that's going to be the lowest setting that this stove can operate on. So the lowest pellet feed speed. From the factory, the pellet feed is set to a very high level. Now this is what I'm telling you about. What you have to do down here is there are 3 buttons. One says low fuel feed. When you press this, there will be a number that comes up where it says blower speed. Mine says 3. I know it's hard to see, it says 3. This comes factory set at 6. Okay? 6 is how fast the upper auger is feeding pellets into the bottom. That is way too fast. It will burn pellets way too quickly. For my liking, I've found that turning this low fuel speed down to 3 works really well. Right next to that, there is the low blower air. Okay, so basically the combustion blower. if we press that, mine is at a 5 right now. It came factory at a 7, I believe. So because I'm feeding less pellets, I turned the blower down, but just a little bit. It still needs good combustion flow or it will burn real dirty, okay? And then there's an air on temp at the bottom. That should be fine, set from the factory. That just turns your heat blower on when the stove gets hot enough. I think it's set to like 100 degrees from the factory, so that's all good. Now again, the build quality is really great on this stove. The blowers seem to function wonderfully. It seems like if something's going to go bad, it's usually going to be one of the blowers or one of the auger motors. I've run them for about 2 months now, and I've had really good success with those. They seem to be operating really well. None of this stuff is difficult to replace. If you have to fix this stove yourself, it's very simple to do. If you're somebody who has no idea and no mechanical ability whatsoever, you might find this stove a little bit frustrating. But if you've got a little bit of a mechanical background and you're able to kind of repair basic things around your house, you shouldn't have too much of a problem handling this stove. Okay, I took the back panel off. I want to show you guys into the back of the stove. Down here at the bottom you can see my little 2-inch intake pipe, and then I've got my 3-inch that basically what I did is off of my wood stove I wide that right into the chimney and I have it running outside. So I just close the flue on the wood stove and the pellet stove goes right outside. Now I removed this back panel a little bit, and basically I'm going to show you what's down inside of it. Let's see what's down in here. The control board is over there on the left hand side. So if you need to replace it, it's all quick connectors and it's easy to replace. Your heat blower for the actual heat that comes out of the stove is right there. You can see the igniter right there with the 2 white wires coming out of it. Then there are 2 auger feed motors. That's what you're looking at right here. Those are hooked to an upper auger and a lower auger, but they're very simple to change. They're actually not even bolted to anything. They just rest on these steel plates, and they have a little bolt that connects them to this bearing assembly, and just 2 quick connects for electricity. So again, if you had to change these out, it's real simple to do. Now this is the combustion blower over on the right hand side. There are a few more screws in this, and it may take a little longer to change, but still not too bad. It's easy to access everything, and really that's about it. There's not too much to this, and again, pretty easy to maintain if you have any mechanical ability. Somebody's probably going to ask me about how to latch this lid correctly. It's a little bit difficult. What you have to do is you lift these latches up, turn them in towards the center of the stove, 90 degrees, and the lid will open right up. There's your pellets. It's got a safety switch, so don't leave it open too long. Then all you do is close it, push down, and turn it back to the front 90 degrees. Flip that lever down, turn back to the front again, 90 degrees, push that lever down. I tried to turn them 360 degrees a bunch of different ways, and I had it all messed up until I finally figured that out. So be a good little tip for you. Now one thing that I got when I first bought this stove was an ash vacuum. You will definitely want to buy an ash vacuum with this. I got this Powersmith one. It was off of Amazon.com. People complain about having to clean this stove. If you buy an ash vacuum, it takes you about 13 seconds to clean it each and every day. And to do a deep clean takes less than 10 minutes. You know, they recommend doing that like monthly. And man, it just burns impeccable. I have no problems whatsoever. Spend the 50 bucks and get an ash vacuum. I wanted to give you one more shot. This is the pellet stove running on a 1 setting, which is a low feed speed. So it's a small flame. It still heats my house really well. And what I do is I run this stove all day. It was about 12 degrees out the other day. I ran it all day on the lowest setting, and it kept my house comfortable at around 70 degrees all day long. Makes the floor nice and warm because I have it in the basement, but you don't need a high burn setting on this. Maybe if it were like negative 30 outside, I would need to turn it up a little bit, but it runs really warm, so it's a great stove. So to wrap things up, I would tell you I am very happy with this stove. If you're thinking about, well, I don't know whether to buy it or not, let me just tell you, it's inexpensive, it runs very well, it's easy to start up. You see, you just hit the on button, turn it off. It's easy to load pellets in it. If you buy the ash vacuum, it's very easy to clean. To service it, things are very accessible from the back. and it does a great job of just functioning the way it's supposed to. If you have any questions or comments, leave them below. Please subscribe to my channel if you have a second. Thanks. Have a great day.